Hello everybody, it's Julia here from the Highly Sensitive Tarot. Today I'm here to do a video response to 9 things. This is a video that I originally saw on April at Tarot and Witchery and I thought was brilliant, and then I had a look at She Walks in Beauty and I loved that also. I had a look at a couple of the other ladies that have done this video and I thought it was really fun and clever idea, so thank you for your lovely idea, She Walks in Beauty, and I will drop a little comment in your description box of your video just so that you know that I've done this. I also will put a link in the description box to anything I talk about here in case you're interested to have a look. But anyway, I thought this was a brilliant tag and something a little bit different to do. I thought it was a good way for people to get to know me, really, and another opportunity for me to face having my face on camera again, which is something that I don't enjoy that much and I don't do very often, but I think it's important with these kind of videos. I doubt very much that I'll be able to just give one answer to a lot of these questions, but I will try. I've got some notes down here in front of me, so you will see me looking down just to look. I know some people are brilliant at just sitting doing these videos and just talking, but I need to have a few notes, so I really hope I don't waffle too much. And there'll be no timestamps for this video just because the camera's a distance away from me and I don't want to keep reaching to it. I'm not good at editing videos, so I literally turn it on and I sit and talk. So there we go. So 9 things, a VR to She Walks in Beauty. And question number 1 is something you might not know about me. Well, I've got 2 responses to that one. The first one is a serious response, and that is that I was diagnosed with autism last year, and at the grand age of 52 I was diagnosed with autism, and it wasn't a shock on the whole, and on the whole has been an extremely positive step for me in accepting myself and to living a much more authentic life for myself. I've just started another channel called Highly Sensitive Me, which you'll find a link to in my channel description. I've only done 2 videos there so far talking about autism, just because I found it quite upsetting to do, if I'm honest, more upsetting than I thought that it would be. You know, really having to think hard about ways that the autism had affected me throughout my life, and I guess I'm still coming to terms with that, really. I've suffered with depression and anxiety all my life, really, and I also have fibromyalgia, so there's a lot of issues about my health that I would like to talk about on this other channel. So if you felt like going over there and having a look at that, that would be wonderful. Something a little bit more light-hearted about me, I guess, is that I'm what I would consider a free thinker. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist, although I prefer free thinker or conscious thinker as a better way to describe many of these things, because I think a lot of the things I'm interested in are not conspiracies. They're just truths waiting to happen, waiting to be revealed. I like anything mysterious. I really enjoy true crime, and I think this is quite funny, but I've recently started to get into these channels where these women sit and they tell true crime and they do their makeup, and I just think that's brilliant. There's a woman called Danielle Kirsty in the UK that I'll put a link to, that I watch all of her videos and I just love them. And it's hilarious, to be honest, because I haven't worn any makeup other than, you know, a little bit of lip gloss in years. So I really do enjoy these videos. So there we go. That's a couple of things you might not know about me. A tarot card that represents me. Well, that's easy. I've always resonated very strongly with the Hermit card. I am a Virgo, and I'm a Virgo in 6 places, so the Hermit energy resonates strongly within me. But I picked out this card here from my zombie deck just because the moment I saw it, it has never failed to make me laugh. Actually, it's just me. It's totally and utterly me. And I think it particularly makes me laugh, really, because this is how I spent most of the COVID lockdowns, you know, most of the pandemic. I'd recently left a long-term relationship when the first sort of lockdowns happened a couple of years ago, and I'd sort of not long moved to my new home here, and this is how I spent months and months and months at home on my own, reading books, laying on the sofa and eating chocolate, and really just being completely oblivious to what was going on in the world. You know, I haven't read the newspapers or watched any real mainstream media for a lot of years. You know, I don't have a TV license. I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't watch any sort of brainwashing rubbish on the telly. So there we go, the Hermit, and very definitely this Hermit here. What is one song on the soundtrack to my life? This was really hard. There's so many songs. I love music. I have to be in the mood for music, if I'm honest. I find music quite emotional a lot of the time, but I think a song that's been around for about 20 or so years is a song by Train called Drops of Jupiter, which I will put a link in the description if you want to listen to that or look at the lyrics to this song. I absolutely just love it. It makes me think about freedom and the freedom to be yourself and express yourself. And it can sometimes make me cry, but it also just uplifts me and fills me with hope and with joy. I absolutely love it. There's lots of other songs I could mention. Dreams by Fleetwood Mac, Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, but I think really Drops of Jupiter by Train is a song that just gets me, really. It just totally gets me. So, a childhood or adult crush? Well, there are 2 main ones, really. I find this quite embarrassing, really, to talk about. As a teenager, I guess around 13, 14, 15, I became quite obsessed with Martin Shaw, who I don't know whether many of you will know if you're not from the UK, but he was one of the cops in The Professionals, which was like a TV crime drama when I was a kid. A bit like, I suppose, the equivalent of Starsky and Hutch, I guess, in America. Martin Shaw was not the coolest one, I don't think, out of the 2. I think a lot of girls like Bodhi, who had sort of a crew cut and was very dark and chiselled. But Doyle had this perm, which at the time was really fashionable. But I don't know, I really had a crush on him and really had the hots for him. And to be honest, I still do. And I looked him up the other day just to see how old he is, because he's been in lots of TV over the years, and he's now in his 70s. I think he's 77. But yeah, Martin Shaw. I will try and find a link on YouTube to something that he's been in, so that you can have a look at him in his prime of the professionals' days. And the other one, I did wonder whether I should even admit this, but I'm going to. And this has been a much more recent thing. This has been the last couple of years, I guess, of my YouTube obsession about sort of all things mysterious. And I really enjoy watching all the Missing 411 videos by David Paulides. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He has the Can-Am Missing Project channel. Again, I don't really have any idea why I have such a big crush on him, but I do. Sometimes I can't watch his videos. You know, I live alone these days. I don't have a partner, and I think sometimes it's too much to watch him. As I said, I don't really know what it is about him, but I know that if I met him to talk to, I would giggle and be really silly and girly, which for me is a absolutely sure sign of a crush on somebody. So so yeah, Martin Shaw and David Paulides, there you go. A book that has changed my perspective. Well, oh my God, as you can see behind me, I read and read and read, and always have. I've got bookshelves everywhere, books everywhere. Fact and fiction books. Since I was a little girl, I've read all the time. I love reading. But I guess a book that has really had the most impact on me over the last few years personally would be this one, and it's called The Highly Sensitive Person, and it's by Elaine Aron, and it says how to thrive when the world overwhelms you. And I first read this, I think, when it first came out, when did it first came out? This was copyrighted 1999. And I think I did read it first around that time, around the year 2000. And well, as you can see, where is it? I've got all sorts of bits in here that I've marked pages out. I've marked sentences, paragraphs. There was a test in here to see whether you were highly sensitive or not, and I think there was 40 questions, and I think she said if you test, you know, if you mark positive for sort of half of them, you're likely to be highly sensitive. And I think I was sort of 39 or even 40 out of 40. And this book just made me sob. It just made me cry and cry and cry. It was just like, oh my God, I'm not alone, actually. There are other people in the world that are highly sensitive and that feel the way that I do. People who suffer doing most of the things that other people seem to take for granted. Just like, you know, having friends and a social life, being out in the world. All things that I found really, really difficult. So for me, I think this was my first step towards really, really understanding who I am and what I need in order to be happy and live an authentic life. And I'm a lot closer to that now, I think, than I was, but I still have a way to go. Obviously having that diagnosis last year has, I suppose, it's a bit like it's picked the scab a little bit, and you know, really made me quite sensitive again to a lot of things in life, and trying to work out what I want and what I need, what's necessary for me to be happy and to thrive in life, really. So yeah, that would be my book. What else have we got here? What you wish that you could bring back. Well, I've watched a few of these videos and people have taken this question in different ways, but and I've thought long and hard about this and struggled to come up with an answer. I wish I could say something really simple. I heard one lady say she wished that they would bring back this glue pen that she really liked from her childhood, but to be honest, most of the things that I've enjoyed in life are still around, you know, I can still do. But I guess the one really big thing for me that I really do miss and I wish could come back, it's much less tangible, is I don't know how to describe it really, but I miss our innocence, I miss our freedom, I miss aspects of my childhood and growing up, of sort of 20, 30, 40 years ago. I miss having the ability to have an opinion and not be frightened to express it, or more importantly to question the narrative of the current sort of mainstream media. I miss the ability to excuse me, I miss the ability to have a sense of humour about things that people take way too seriously these days. A big admission here, I guess, is I feel quite oppressed, I guess, by the woke generation. If I'm honest, it might be my age, I don't know. But I think it's important to be able to laugh at the things that make us different. You know, if you just look at men and women, we are from Mars and Venus, and that can be quite tough. You know, we need to laugh more about these things. Excuse me. When I was a mental health nurse, sort of 20 or 30 years ago, it was an integral part of how we coped with our job, was to laugh and make jokes about people. It didn't at all mean that we didn't care. It really didn't mean that we sat in judgment of people. It was just a way to deal with difficult emotions, and a way to cope. You know, we were just human beings doing our best to cope with some really quite difficult people, some really quite challenging situations, some really distressing people and situations. And as I said, it was a really quite integral way of how we coped with life. You know, your sense of humour can become quite dark at those times. And then towards the end of my career, it just wasn't PC, you know, at all. You could get in trouble for saying things about people or for expressing an opinion. You were seen as judgmental and racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever you want to call it, really, for whatever it was. We just weren't allowed to have opinions or to laugh about anything. And as I said, you could get in trouble. And I'm not saying at all for 1 second that things haven't needed to change in the world, because they clearly did, you know. But I just think the pendulum has swung too far, really. That's all I'm saying. And again, I'm not meaning to offend anybody with this. This is really just my opinion and me expressing my opinion. Excuse me. So, question 7. What would I hope to leave behind? Well, I think that one's quite easy. I sometimes just feel so small and insignificant in this world, really, I guess, that I sometimes wonder whether people would even notice if I was gone, you know, other than my close family. I hope that people would remember me fondly. I hope that I was a good mum and a good friend to the few people in my life, that I did my best for people, and that I wanted the best for people. Most importantly, that I love animals and nature, and that really I was a kind of relatively benign presence in the world. And that's about it, really. Number 8, the last thing I bought. Well, other than basic day-to-day things and tarot cards, I would probably say that the last things that I've bought were 2 gorgeous plants, both for my 2 best friends in the world. I only really have 2 good friends, and they're both Leos, and I bought them both a gorgeous house plant recently for their birthdays. So that's the last thing that I bought. And the last question here, my rapper name. I wish that I could do this question justice, to be honest, but in a British accent it's not the same, is it? So if my rapper name is Lil and a drink, or the last drink that I had, that would probably be Lil Tap Water. But I think I would prefer Lil Lime and Soda or Lil Ginger Beer, because that's about all I drink these days. As I said, I don't think I can do that question any justice with a British accent, so there you go. Anyway, that's my 9 things. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that it was interesting for you to hear. I would love to hear if you've got a response to my video in the description box, if you'd leave me a comment and tell me any of your answers to these questions if you haven't done a video for yourself. So yeah, please do leave me a comment if you feel so inclined. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do. That would mean the absolute world to me. It really would. As I said, I shall try and leave links in the description box to as many of the things that I've talked about here, in case you want to have a look at Martin Shaw, or anything else that I've mentioned. But anyway, I hope that you're all well, I hope that you're all good, and I shall see you again soon. Thank you.